must be Saturday and you're tuned in to the Vegematic Deluxe Show. And I bet you've been waiting all week with bated breath just for an opportunity to experience the armpit of Canada once more and visit with Mr. Veg-E-Matic Deluxe. I will never be found with a name like that. And that suits me just fine. I like being kind of obscure, kind of a cult following, you know. That's the exciting part for me. Well, in the Justice Sometimes Prevails department, I just heard about a story from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And a shop vac was stolen out of the back of a man's. The guy was working. Van's parked there and just helped himself to the shop vac. But what the thief didn't realize was the shop vac was filled with hundreds and hundreds of aggressive hornets that this guy had just removed from a house because that's what he does for a living. So you can just imagine, and most of them, apparently there was a preponderance of females, and the most vicious wasp to be found anywhere in the eastern U.S. So congratulations to the thief. I hope you enjoy your shop vac. All these places that are saying, oh, you have to not say gay anymore. Apparently that's a bad word to say, so I wonder, though, how far will they take it down in Florida, in the Satan land? And, are they going to ban the Flintstones? Because every person that's ever watched the Flintstones remembers the last few words. We'll have a yabba dabba doo time, a dabba doo time, referring to drugs, no doubt. We'll have a gay old time. And this was indoctrinated into the whole generation that I grew up with because we watched the Flintstones. What other evil subliminal messages they have been sending with Fred and Barney and Wilma? You can't tell me they weren't up to some weird shit. I think it was going on in the 40s, in the movies. You remember a guy that would sit there and say, "Hey, Sam, you look like you're feeling mighty gay today." And Sam would go, "Why, yes, I'm over the moon." That was all gay code words. I've done an extensive study on this. It'll go even further back than that. But, I figured that maybe I can get sponsored by like the Family Research Council or somebody like that with deep pockets and thick skulls. Life and death. Entropy. It's a fact of our existence. All of us. And do you ever get the feeling that that's not the end of the story? I get that feeling often. This week I had a dream, and this happens to me quite frequently after a pet dies. I dream about them, and inevitably they're happy and in a good place. And okay, so maybe it's my Pollyanna-ish mind just imagining this, but it seems so real to me that I do believe in an afterlife. And I've come close to dying on more than one occasion, and that has left me thoroughly more convinced that there is more to the story than we're seeing. I mean, we experience the world through our 5 senses, and perhaps there are 50 senses that we're not aware of. It's just, that something's wrong in this life, that there's so much suffering, that there's so much evil, violence, famines, natural disasters. But inside you know that this can't be the end of the story. That somehow, through this test, we all emerge stronger and come through the other side, which is really probably our home. Well, it is our home. Because none of us are home when we're on a planet that's got so much evil and suffering in it. So how all of us long for justice, humanity, forgiveness, love. And everybody on earth has these needs, but can't access them. It's like the most basic things humans can't seem to grasp. Once upon a time, when we were all very young, we all looked at the world through innocent eyes and were able to see the beauty. Remember when you would wake up as a kid and the sun was shining and there was a brand new day in front of you? And so much of that over the years breaks down and we lose that sense of wonder, that sense of possibilities, that sense that the world is a good place. And of course, it isn't a good place. And bit by bit, human beings learn that through one bitter experience after another. And you can take that two ways, and you can either feel really bitter and angry, or you can feel bitter and angry. But in spite of that, it's still a good world. There's still good people. I think there are more good people than bad in the world. Call me crazy, but the bad corrupts the good. It's like throwing a stone into a pond and watching the ripples. One bad act ripples, and one good act is a corresponding ripple. So maybe if we just use what we have to make it a better world, there's still some hope. Now I know this completely destroys me as a doomer, but sometimes when people fight back, they win. In my province, Ontario, we have a very famously flatulent politician named Doug Ford, who's a sketchy background and everything. He started selling off all these parts of the green belt around Toronto to his developer friends and giving, hey, you want to make billion? It was worth billions, this whole thing. And finally, after months and months of them saying, no, we're going to build affordable housing. Well, affordable housing in Canada is it's like you still got to be a millionaire. But he backed off because he got his hand caught in a cookie jar and it was looking really bad for him. And his popularity went into the gutter. So you push back sometimes. Sometimes you can eke out victories, and that makes me feel that there's some sort of hope out there. I admit that it's slim, but it's like a tiny sliver of light coming through a basement window, and it grows bigger and bigger. Now I'm just being silly. Well, I just wanted to get that off my chest this week, and I hope that you all have a wonderful week. All of you. This channel has made me realize that there are many good people. This channel has made me realize that there are lots of us. And if lots of us connect, then perhaps we can make a small impact. Or start throwing some stones into that pond and creating ripples of our own. I just wish I had time to do more. I wish I had time to do what I want, because I love playing with videotape and editing and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to make a long documentary, but it's an incredible amount of work for one person, so inevitably it gets shelved, and I've started it a couple of times and then lost the files, of course, because it was years ago that I started it. But there's still that creative spark in an old man, so indulge me with my channel, and I'll try and keep in touch with you, and I'll try and keep connected with you as long as I can. So you know what to do. I hear you're supposed to tell everybody to like and share and subscribe. Well, I'm not going to tell you to do that. I would never do that, because it would be selling out. So if you did want to like and share and subscribe, though, well, you'll feel good about it, and I'd feel even better. Thanks for listening. Peace, everybody, and we'll talk to you as soon as possible, as soon as it's practically possible. I gotta go for an ultrasound tomorrow. That should be interesting. And then I get my new lenses put in my eyes later on. I'm just waiting for that now, so I can see properly again. Wow, medical science is fantastic in that way, right? New lenses, no more cataracts. I'm gonna be just skipping down the road with happy feelings, and I'll be painting happy little trees all the way.